before we start, could you guys please do us a favor and please like and subscribe to the video before we start? Once you've done that, let's get into the video. Today's video, we'll be talking about debunking myths about parenting teens.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, today is a very interesting one. As we're doing our research with Brendan, there's just so many things. Some personal, some that are a bit far-fetched, that really don't apply to us. But it was quite interesting having to do research about today's video. So we're talking about debunking myths about parenting teens. So what are myths? Myths, it's things that people assume to be true, and then there's the reality. Yeah. So there's so many things, so many myths around teenagers and their parents, and yeah, some of them quite serious, quite hectic, like talking about sex with your teens, right? So let's get right into it. The first myth that we're going to talk about is adolescence, that it starts from the age of 13 and it ends at the age of 18. That is a myth. The honest truth is adolescence starts from as early as 8 and 9 years, and sometimes, not sometimes, it actually goes beyond 18 years of age, because adolescence is one of the stages where people are really growing, between the age of 1 and 3 years. It's the biggest growth in a human, and the second time is when they are adolescents. So is people around 20 years old, they're still growing. So it is a myth that it's between 13 and 18 years. Yes, go ahead.
So there, yes, it can go above 18, as in people developing and growing, because in for us as humans, our brain development takes up until 22 years for females and up to 30 years for males, for some males.
Oh,
so it takes it's not just doesn't end at 18. It still continues as you grow and your brain develops until it becomes mature and you become wiser and more mature.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff. The second myth is all teenagers are risk takers who want to take alcohol and drugs. So that the most important thing to understand is it's a time where they are quite their minds are hyper rationalizing, if I can put it that way. So for example, you go out with your friends and you're just going to have a good time, and then you find yourself you're focusing on mainly on the 10% of what could happen. Nothing bad would happen. It's a 10% chance that something bad can happen. You are hyper rationalizing. Your mind is really not thinking through what the 10% could entail. So yes, it's a time where teens are quite impulsive, and not all of them want to take something like that. Yeah.
And I feel like, personally, from what I've seen, is that with not just in taking like alcohol and other stuff, but as in even in participating in other sports or activities or anything really, your friends would really try and justify as to why you should do it in the first place. Then you feel that sense of you begin to have FOMO, the fear of missing out with others, and it kind of puts that pressure on you, which is kind of difficult to alleviate when it's your friends, your peers, people who are closest to you, when you're not from your family. So it's something difficult, but we should try and abstain from anything like that. Try and abstain from any peer pressure that we might not be feeling kind of comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay, third myth is strict parents raise well-behaved kids. So I beg to differ. I think maybe strict parents or authoritative parenting could help with that, because in being strict, your kids may not do certain things not because they cannot do them, but because they are scared of you. So I think the most important thing is to have healthy boundaries and healthy expectations. It can really help kids get out of trouble. So when you have those warm boundaries, when you make them aware that certain actions have certain consequences. Yes. So, for example, when we give an example of you going out with your friends and you saying it's only a 10% chance that something bad can happen. So, but by me making you aware that 10%, it could mean an accident, it can mean anything. So, I think it's all about having those healthy boundaries, making your child know so that whenever they do something, it's from an informed decision, right? Can I add anything?
Yeah. As a strict parents, I feel like sometimes whenever my parents would like lay down rules or whatever, it's sometimes you just don't agree, or you just find it really unfair. And sometimes you just feel like rebelling, and you just sometimes it can be really frustrating when things don't go your way, when you really wanted to. But I guess if you look at it from your parents' point of view, is that they are trying to help you, they want to protect you. But yet again, I feel like the parents can't be strict all the time, I guess. Because then you can't really, because then I feel like as your child, I can't really open up as much. If you're always so strict about, I feel like I must always try and fit in with what you've set up, and I can't really be myself. I can't really express myself in the way that I truly want to. I can't do the things that I feel like doing, because sometimes my parents have just, it's like they just feel like I'm in a jail cell. Yeah.
Okay, but as I said, the most important thing is having warm boundaries. You have expectations. It's a matter of us sitting down and saying, okay, what do you think about this, right? I think, like I said to you, these whole videos, we are both learning, or even with the viewers, between the parents and the kids and their teens, they're also learning. So maybe offline we can talk about the things that you really feel like we are too strict, me and Daddy, about, and then yeah, who knows? Okay. The fourth myth is teens are addicted to social media. Okay. I've got my reservations when it comes to this one, but I believe it's all about connections. Teenagers also want to connect with other people. I believe I'm also very active on social media. I think the most important thing is have healthy connections, right? And I know that whatever we do also influences you guys. So I think it's also about having boundaries, having time, scheduled time for those things, and not being online, like maybe late, very late into the night, and all that. Yeah.
And I think that we should have everything should be done in moderation.
Oh yes.
So maybe don't be. We're not saying don't be on your phone, or just don't talk to other people, but as in set time for being on your phone, to talking to people. And social media can be a very addictive place. It's just the app is trained to show you what you like.
Oh yes.
So you never stop seeing when you say I'm gonna set a certain time on YouTube, and you continue to watch videos and videos. I mean, the app realizes what you like, and it begins to show you that content that you like, and makes you stay on a bit longer. longer.
Mhm.
So maybe try set app limits or have everything done in moderation. That way you are able to just step back from your phone and actually just be able to relax and just look around you and take a deep breath of fresh air. I mean, you've just been on your phone inside the house. It's not very good for you. And anyway, having your phone on at night prevents us from sleeping as well because of the blue light rays that enter in through our eyes and cause our cortisol levels to increase, which is your stress levels to increase, and you you don't get stronger, you don't get better sleep from it, and you wake up feeling like a zombie, all because of you stayed on your phone an extra 2 hours than you should have. So probably we should have healthy boundaries, as my mom said, and that we should have everything done in moderation.
Yeah. Okay, and the fifth myth is teens are unmotivated and they don't really care about learning.
I mean, I could say that it's further from the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is true when it comes, well, it's not true at all in my view, because I've got my own interests and likings in which I would like to learn so much in. For example, I love playing chess, cooking. So I would like to try and learn as much as possible as I can and try and inform myself so that I can become the best at what I'm trying to become. So I feel like that statement is nothing more than a myth, because everybody's got their own likings. You've got your own likings. Everybody's got their own tastes. Everybody knows what they like doing, whether if it's playing a certain sport, reading books, exercising. You've got your own interests and you want to learn and you want to dive deep into the world of what you're interested in, and that statement couldn't be further from the truth in my eyes.
Yeah. Okay, my opinion around this is, for the longest of time, we've believed that education is the key to success. So I guess that's where it all stems from. So, in your defense, I think as parents, what we can do is to encourage you. We encourage you to work hard, or work on your time management and your prioritization. And on encourage you to do things that you like. That's the best I can do as a parent. It's not about only about learning, like your school stuff. I believe, with the learning aspect, it just teaches us, even if when you get to work, there are things that will be expected of you to do. It's you being on time at work. When I want to compare it with the school going age, you've got to be on time at school. I've got to be on time at work. I've got things that I have to do on a daily basis that I need to do and finish. It's the same thing with your school work and your. So I think the basics, they just have to be mastered. And like you said, you've got your own interests, you've got your own passions. So I guess we need to, as parents, we need to encourage you towards those things so that you can excel in them. Okay. The sixth or seventh, teens are purposefully pushing um, our buttons as parents. Uh, my thoughts around this is, I guess when we look at you, you'll always be my baby. Tending will always be my baby. Musa will always be my baby. So we want to hold on to you as much as we can. But at one point in life, you want to connect with your peers, right? You want to be more drawn to your friends. And I think that's one thing that we fail to understand as parents, to say, you're getting to a point where you're becoming your own person. So I think the most important thing when we feel like that is not to retaliate, and when the child comes back, because in a way we'll always be your yes, will always be your family, and there's no way you can be with your friends 2-3 hours, but you coming back to us is it's a sign that we are your tribe, we are your people. Yeah. Got anything to add?
Yeah, I'd say the only reason why it would come across as if we're pushing our parents' buttons is if our parents decide to make a decision that I feel like should be overturned, it should be looked at, and I purposefully continue to do that thing that they said you should not do because I feel like it's wrong. I've got my own opinions. If I feel like I like to do a certain thing and I'm being restricted by doing it, I would want to like be able to break free and do my own thing and pursue my own things and just become my own person. It's more of just seeking freedom.
Okay, okay. I'm learning. I hear you. I hear you. I'll just cut you some slack here and there. Okay, the very last point. This one. This myth is parents shouldn't talk to their teens about sex. There's just so many myths around. There's just so much around that myth. For example, some believe that if you talk about sex, you're encouraging a child to engage in sex. But the honest truth is, there's no right age. I know we haven't really spoken, me and Brendan. I don't know, maybe with Tete they've spoken, but there's no right age about. There's no right age to talk about sex. At the same time, us talking about it, it is actually encouraged that we talk about it because this, in the long run, it shapes you, your communications, your relationships, whatever. You being conscious of your body, right? Of what is going on around you. At the same time, there's just so much information at hand. It's like internet and all that. So I feel like, in a way, if you're getting it from a reliable source, it kind of makes you, be able to make informed decisions. I believe informed decisions are key. When I talk about informed decisions around this particular topic, we're talking about protected sex. We're talking about, consent from some. So it's coming from when we talk about it. Whenever you are tempted or whatever, you are doing it from an informed decision. And lastly, to protect you, yes. And lastly, it's a study that's been done that some people, they even then delay engaging in sexual acts because they've been told things that they need to know. There's no curiosity or things like that. So I don't know. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Yeah, so to those to parents out there, let's be askable parents. Let's be let's be open. And in closing, really, adolescence is a time of tremendous growth, and with our support and understanding, along with all appropriate boundaries, these teens are going to be great. We just have to support them. We just have to have appropriate boundaries in place. We just have to understand them and kind of put ourselves in their feet, right? Yeah, we love you, our teens, and love us back. Okay, bye guys.